Hi everybody. Mahaset walo kaha ho? Hey guys, good evening and welcome to the session. I can see Dhruv. Alright, cool. So Dhruv, are you appearing for Mahaset or you're just trying to learn some grammar? Okay, shall we start now? So this session is going to be completely on grammar. देखो महासेट के लिए आपको अगर हम वर्बल की बात करें तो उसमें you need a bit of reading comprehension, a little bit of parajumbles, quite a lot of vocabulary, a lot of grammar, ऐसी चीज़ें, ठीक है. So I thought I may as well start with grammar. हाँ, close test भी एक बहुत important है, आता है. So close test वगैरह तो we are going to do in the next session या next to next session. अभी के लिए let's start with grammar. Hi Radhika, hi, yes. Now, in grammar, Mahaset can give you anything in the sense it can be parallelism, it can be subject-verb agreement or prepositions or conjunctions, misplaced modifier, it can be verbs or tenses. Okay, adjectives, adverbs, कुछ भी हो सकता है. ग्रामर के अंदर महासेट ने ये नहीं कहा है कि हम आपको बस इतने ही में से देंगे, 2-3 टॉपिक्स पर से देंगे. पर हाँ, there are some topics that keep appearing, that keep reappearing in MAHSET. Okay, जैसे आपका subject verb agreement, parallelism and misplaced modifiers. Okay, these three keep appearing very often. So what are we going to do now? I'll take you forward. We have 20 practice questions. All these questions are connected with mixed grammar concepts. So we'll take up a question, you solve it first, then I'll explain the concept behind it, and then if there's a further doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can just proceed. All right? Chaliye, cool. Let's move on. All right, guys. Question number 1 up there on the screen. It's related to subject-verb agreement and intervening phrase. So go ahead, read the sentence, and then there are 4 options, A, B, C, D. You select and let me know. Come on, guys, can I get an answer for this? Where's my pen? Okay, it's here. Chaliye. So this says, Beluga Chamberlain is saying A. Okay. This says, during the seminar on behavioral economics, okay, the list of assumptions that the researchers, along with several independent reviewers, dash surprisingly resistant to revision even after new evidence emerged. Come on. There's a simple funda here, simple funda. some extra information between two commas. You can see this. This is called intervening phrase. Guys, please pay attention. This is called intervening phrase here between two commas, right? So what do? We just remove this intervening phrase. In order to understand our subject verb properly, we remove this. Then, during the seminar on behavioral economics, just remove this. कब हुआ सेमिनार? ड्यूरिंग द सेमिनार. किस टॉपिक पे? ऑन बिहेवियरल इकोनॉमिक्स. So this is a separate phrase. All right. This is an intervening phrase. The rest of the sentence should be grammatically correct. So when you have got an intervening phrase, that is extra information between two commas, the rule says that if you remove that, the rest of the sentence should be grammatically correct, like this and this. Correct? So, the list of assumptions that the researchers, what? The researchers were found to be, or are being found to be, or have been found as, or was found to be. What do you say? Okay, so you guys are getting the answer now. A or C. Okay. So let's try to decode the meaning of this. During the seminar on behavioral economics, what happened to the people? The list of assumptions that the researchers, okay, the list of assumptions that the researchers along with this were resistant to. Researchers की बात चल रही है. Along with, there is a simple funda that says Ram along with Rahim goes for a walk. We take only the first subject. Ram with Rahim goes for a walk. Again, Ram in addition to Rahim goes for a walk. Ram besides Rahim goes for a walk. However, if you take the conjunction and, Ram and Rahim go for a walk. Right? Ram and Rahim go for a walk. So only when and is there, the conjunction and, that makes both the subjects plural, then you are going to include were or whatever, right? When there is something like along with, that means only the first subject is taken, that is considered. So this as it is plural, correct? So researchers were surprisingly resistant to revision, right? है ना? So were found to be or was found to be, we are left with these two. You agree with me? Everybody? Come on guys. Were found to be or was found to be? Obviously, this is reviewers, है ना? So it has to be this. Or this, was found to be. Janvi? During the seminar on behavioral economics, the list of assumptions that the researchers along with several independent reviewers, okay, the researchers, right, were surprisingly resistant to revision. Resistant to revision. Can the list be resistant to revision? You tell me this. Can a list be resistant to revision? After evidence emerged, how can a list of assumptions be resistant? It has to be reviewers. Reviewers subject है, not this. Researchers subject है. So researchers के साथ you connect. So researchers were found to be, right? Sorry, here there's a typo. It has to be A. जल्दी जल्दी में मैंने लिखवाए हैं answers, so probably a mistake है. You got it, everybody? I have explained clearly. ठीक है, Janvi and Dilip, Dhruv, Beluga Chamberlain, Sandesh. So during the seminar, I'll repeat this point. During the seminar on behavioral economics, the list of assumptions that the researchers, this is extra information, you remove this. Researchers were found to be surprisingly resistant. So this is connected with this. Okay? Chalo, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Question number 2. This talks about tense consistency in narrative context. This is a clue, by the time. Those of you who have learned grammar with me would remember this point. By the time the doctor reached the patient, the latter, kya? Yeah, when the doctor reached the house, the patient, kya? Yeah, by the time I reached the station, the train, kya? Come on guys, give me an answer. Okay, Beluga? B, okay. Okay, now please try to understand the concept here. Everybody. There is a doctor. Okay? Janvi, try to understand the concept. There is a doctor and there is a patient. Okay? Patient is ill. The doctor has to reach the patient's bedside. Correct? There can be one situation that the doctor reaches the patient's side and then the patient dies. That means after the doctor reaches, the patient dies. That can be one situation. Another situation is before the doctor reached, the patient died. Correct? है ना? So, in the second situation, when the doctor reached and before that the patient had died, in that case, we are going to use the word had. Why? Because two things happened, one after the other. Okay? I reached the station, just before I reached, the train had left. The doctor reached the patient's house. Just before the doctor reached, the patient had died. So when two things happen, right one after the other, the thing that had happened first should get this word had. Do you get my point? So by the time the policy committee finally reached a consensus, they were actually not able to come to a consensus. By the time they finally reached a consensus, tab tak der ho chuki thi. This is that tone. Okay. So several startups had already moved their operations. So this is action 1 and this is action 2. Excuse me. Action 1 and action 2. Okay. One happened before the other. Which one happened before? This happened. Already dikh raha hai, already moved there. So the action that happened before the other will get had. I hope this is clear to all of you. ठीक है? हाँ, इसका correct लिखा है. Right? So by the time, if you see such a phrase in a question, look for that error. Had hona chahiye. By the time the doctor reached the house, the patient had passed away. By the time I reached the station, the train had moved away or the train had left the station. Okay? Or by the time ke alawa, what you can use here is before. Before something something, uske pehle jo kaam hua, that will be had. Is it clear? All of you? I have explained it in the simplest language possible. Okay? Chaliye rim jim, the leap. Question number 3. Go ahead, solve it, guys. So this is related to prepositions. Many analysts attribute the sudden decline not merely, so the preposition that you would take with attribute. I attribute my success dash my students. Get it? The first one should be clear. So not just to this, but also what? Tell me, guys. Yes. Attribute. You attribute to. Okay. And you don't say I attribute to. No. Here in between you put that word. I attribute my success to my parents. I attribute my success to my hard work. Okay. So many analysts attribute the decline not to inflationary pressures but to. So dono blanks wala will be connected with attribute. Got it? Okay, it should be A. I hope this is clear. You guys are going to remember this. With attribute, it's always to. Okay. Next. Question 4. Come on, Yashika Kashyap. Let's do it. ओमकार says B. सौरभ का कहना है C. B. Vaishnavi. Dream Tunes. C. All right. Now, let's dive into this. Yashika, what's your answer? B. Okay. Vivek, what's your answer? Beluga, B. Now, this is how we need to analyze this. The CEO emphasized. Okay. This is the first phrase. Rimdim. The CEO emphasized, right? What did he emphasize? That. Correct? So that here is conjunction. You know very well that the subject and verb together can form a sentence. So the CEO emphasized is a good sentence. This is a conjunction. Then we come up with the second part. What is the second part? A sustainable organization requires a sustainable organization requires not only anticipating, this is verb 1, okay, anticipating market disruptions, but also here we should put verb 2. So the rule says if you say not only and if you put here but also, the verb here should match the verb here. Means if this is to eat, here it should be to sleep. If it says here eating, it should, here also it should be sleeping. समझ रहे हो? This is called parallelism. So parallelism means if you put something like this, both the sides have to be balanced. So not only anticipating, but also you need ing form of the verb, right? That eliminated. Cultivating, yes. To cultivate, wrong. Cultivation, noun, wrong. Is it clear, guys? Tell me now. If it is not, I'll give you another example. Ritu and Dhruv. जानवी, आशिका, वैष्णवी. संदेश को भी क्लियर हो गया. Very good. Ritu. Next one then. A long question, but please do not get scared. It's a doable one. Go ahead. Does anyone have the answer here? Rajiv says A. Okay. Some more answers I need. सबका A आ रहा है. Misplaced modifier इतना आसान तो है नहीं. Yashika. What about the others? Yes, guys. All right. देखो दिलीप का C है, सौरभ का B है, वैष्णवी says C. Okay. Now look here. First, you need to understand what a misplaced modifier is. Just look at this sentence here. Everybody pay attention. You will understand this concept once and for all. Having reviewed, this sentence starts with ing form of the verb. It can be eating or sleeping or jumping or having or doing. It can be anything. But you're starting the sentence with ing form of the verb. right? So the question here is, having reviewed the quarterly performance reports in great detail, this is your object. You agree with me? किस चीज को रिव्यू किया उसने? Quarterly performance reports को. So this is noun, common noun. This is object. In great detail, कैसे किया उसने review? So this is adverb, right? Something that is explaining the verb. Review किया, पर कैसे किया? In great detail. Correct? My question here is, if we start it with ing form of the verb Ritu and Vaishnavi, where is the subject for this? How can a verb not be connected with the subject? Correct? So the rule says that if you start your sentence with ing form of the verb, look for the subject. The subject should be as close as possible. So, right after the comma, your subject should be there. In this case, this is what the rule says. Where is the subject here? Who reviewed? Do you get the point? Who reviewed? Obviously, the finance team reviewed, correct? And then they found discrepancies, inconsistencies. So this finance team is the subject, which is at the far end of the sentence. It should be as close as possible to the verb here. Having reviewed. Who reviewed it? Finance team reviewed it. So right after the comma, the subject should be here according to the rule. I'll give you another example, but पहले इसको आप देख लो. So going by that, we need the finance team here. Based on that, we are left with A and C. So far, so good. Now, having reviewed the quarterly performance reports in great detail, the finance team found several inconsistencies. Several inconsistencies in this appeared to the finance team having reviewed the quarterly. Bakwas. Appeared to the finance team, this is not the right way to report. Okay. This is focusing on what the finance team did. So you focus on that. So A should be the best one, right? Many of you got it. I'll give you a very simple example just to help you understand further. Okay. Look at this. Walking in the park, okay, a snake was seen by the man, right? We are starting our sentence with walking, ing. Where is the subject? Who was walking in the park? Snake? I don't think so. A snake slithers. So how will you correct this sentence? Yes, Ritu. Man is the subject. He was walking, wasn't he? Man should come here. We'll pick this from here. Put it here. The man. Right? Seen goes here. Saw. What did he see? A snake. Is it clear, everyone? Bolo, guys. Correct, Janvi, you got it. Next one. Good, Ritu, well done. Rajiv Khedia is saying D. Mm-hmm. Sandesh. Ritu D. Very good. This says here, although the economist acknowledged. ये देख रहे हो आप? There's a conjunction here. So this sentence is completed till here. It's done. Although the economist acknowledged the model was theoretically elegant. She called the model elegant. Okay? Although conjunction लग गया है, you don't need to put yet here. लगा भी सकते हैं. Although के साथ yet allowed है. Though के साथ yet allowed है. But there's a comma here. She remains skeptical. Although she called it elegant, she remains skeptical. Skeptical means doubtful. Why? Why was she skeptical? Okay, so as, since, because. This is giving you the reason. So here you have to put as or since or because. This should be your answer. Right? Beluga says yet. Omkar ka D tha. Saurabh said yet. I'll tell you why not yet. Yet it relied matlab. Before this there should be opposite. You agree with me? है ना? Yet का मतलब ही होता है you are showing some opposite. So if here you say it relied on assumptions that rarely hold. यहाँ पे आप yet अगर लगाते हो तो यहाँ पे तो फिर पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए ना, बट यहाँ भी नेगेटिव है, यहाँ भी नेगेटिव है. So you cannot put yet. When could you have put yet? यहाँ yet it relied on assumptions that rarely hold. यहाँ पे होना चाहिए था she is happy about it, she is enthusiastic about it, she is optimistic about it, yet it relied on assumptions that rarely hold in real markets. Clear? Beluga and Saurabh, I hope it's clear now why it can't be C. Chaliye, next. So it is from here, here till here. The first point that you have to see over here is each members or each member or each member or each member. I'm sure you will eliminate A. Each is singular. Every is singular. Each and every member, every member, singular. ठीक है? तो ये out. It's between the other three. बोलो. Now, there is a Gyan point that you need to learn here. No, it cannot be B. Insisted that each member, when you use the word insist, I insist she go there. I insist he go there. I insist. I insist each girl submit her report. It's not because of this. Generally हम लेंगे तो कैसे होगा ऋतु? Each member submits. Correct. This is good. Going by this, it should be B. That is what you all chose. But the thing is, the moment you put the word insist before that, she insisted Rahul eat his food. They insisted we go there. Okay. My mother insisted he finish his work. याद रहेगा ये point. So subject verb के हिसाब से each member submits is good. But then pronoun reference and agreement. So you have to connect it with this. Insisted that each member is pronoun, each is pronoun. Submit according to insisted, you have to decide. So insisted that each member submit his or her independent evaluation. It should be C. Got it? Each के साथ you take his or her. Spoken में you can take their. But written में, that is prescriptivist grammar, you have to be careful about this. Done? I have explained all the points, the Gyan points. Chalo, question number 8. Parallelism. B, C, okay. Okay. All right. देखें इसको. क्या कह रहा है ये? The expansion strategy of the company. यहाँ तक छोड़ दो आप. Realize. Strategy is the subject. Realize. I'm just going to, just break it down into small bits. The expansion strategy of the company. So expansion strategy is the subject, Ritu. Realize. With realize, we use the word on. Correct? है ना? There is this comparison here, than. Right? You can see that. So there are two things. I'll draw a line here and I'll show you the two things. The company relies. Right? More किस पे? More on किस पे? ये देखो यहाँ first लिखूंगी मैं. More on building. Right? Strategic partnerships in emerging markets. Just pay attention to this. The company relies more on this, building strategic partnerships in emerging markets, right? Than what? Dash in already saturated economies, correct? Than aggressive acquisitions. On it does wrong है. It does on, it relies on, या aggressive acquisitions. I'll write here. It depends more on building this. So, ये जो building verb है, पहले ये जवाब देना मुझे. This building verb, building strategic partnerships. Emerging markets को छोड़ दो आप. Okay? Building strategic partnerships. Do we build aggressive acquisitions? सोच के बोलो. It relies more on, okay, on number 1. It relies more on this, building strategic partnerships in emerging markets, than what? Can we say building aggressive acquisitions? You don't build aggressive acquisitions. पहले तो ये clear कर लो. You agree with me? You don't build aggressive acquisitions. That collocation will be wrong. समझे मेरी बात आप लोग, ध्रुव और ऋतु और संदेश? You go for aggressive acquisitions. So, if you put here just B, option B लगा दोगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? It relies more on building this than aggressive acquisition. So, building is taken with both. Okay? It relies more on building this than building that. तो दोनों के साथ चला गया building. No, it's not allowed. Because aggressive acquisitions you don't build. So, the company expansion strategy of the company relies more on building on, this is number 1. Number 1. ये इस पे rely करता है. Than developing acquisitions, than going for acquisitions in already this, or than bringing up acquisitions in this. कुछ भी ऐसा यहाँ पे verb मांगता है. Correct? क्योंकि building इसके साथ नहीं लगा सकते. You get the point, everybody? Follow me please. ठीक है? यहां पे इसको करेक्ट कर, मतलब ये बी लेने के लिए हमें क्या करना होता, ये सुन लो. स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप्स बिल्ड करना, इसको एग्रेसिव एक्विजिशंस को हटा के यू पुट हियर फ्रेंडशिप्स और यू पुट हियर कॉन्ग्लोमरेट्स. ओके, तब होता बिल्डिंग स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप्स देन बिल्डिंग कॉन्ग्लोमरेट्स इन ऑलरेडी सैचुरेटेड इकोनॉमीज. तो कॉन्ग्लोमरेट्स को भी बिल्ड करते हैं, इसको भी बिल्ड करते हैं, तो बिल्डिंग कुड हैव गॉन विथ बोथ. बट हियर सिंस एग्रेसिव एक्विजिशंस को आप बिल्ड नहीं करते हैं, वी कैन नॉट टेक बिल्डिंग विद दिस. तो ये सिंपली पुटिंग दिस इज रॉन्ग. बी इज डेफिनेटली रॉन्ग. डी तो वैसे ही रॉन्ग हुआ था. ओके, सो the expansion strategy of the company relies more on building this than it relies on aggressive acquisitions. Correct? Instead of again saying it relies on, we say it does. So this is your answer. Did you get it now, guys? I'll give you another simple example. Just hold on. Okay, but here definitely it should be A. In emerging markets than it does on aggressive acquisitions in already this. ठीक है? This is a typo. Here it will be A. I will give you a very simple example to prove my point. ठहर जाओ. अभी जैसे the team depends on sharpening focus, okay, The team depends more on sharpening focus than prosperity. Simple सा sentence है, pay attention. Everybody. The team depends more on this, sharpening focus. Sharpening is verb, focus is noun. Okay? The team depends more on this than prosperity. Bhai, so that means sharpening is being taken as common for both. Can you sharpen prosperity? No, you cannot. You build prosperity, or you acquire prosperity, or you chase prosperity. You get it? So the team depends more on sharpening focus. अगर आप यहाँ पे सिर्फ prosperity लगाओगे तो यहाँ पे जैसे ब्रैकेट खुलता है x के लिए, we will open the bracket here and close it here. So the team depends more on sharpening this than that. समझी ऋतु and Janvi and Yashasvi and Rajiv and Sandesh and everyone else. So this is wrong because prosperity के साथ we do not use sharpening. So we have to put here something else. The team depends more on sharpening focus than on chasing prosperity. Correct. Okay? Or the team depends more on sharpening focus than it does on chasing prosperity. You get my point now? Everybody. Hope it is clear. It has to be A. मतलब सबसे पहला elimination D है, then B है. Is it clear, guys? Can we proceed to the next question, that is question number 9. Yeah? Okay. चलिए. What do you say? Was. Sandesh says was. What about the others? Janvi? Dhruv, where are you? Rajiv says A. Saurabh says this. In the second part, that is after the comma, do you guys see this? Might have been, may have been, could have been, would have been. This is called your conditional. So if one part of your sentence contains this, the other part has to be had plus V3. You see the part here? This is first part. This is second part. Or you can reverse it. वो इधर आ जाएगा, वो उधर चला जाएगा. So if the regulatory framework had been V3, had been implemented earlier, they blah 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 blah. Let me give you a very simple example here. If you told me earlier, I would have brought my portmanteau. Okay? Now, check if this sentence has an error. बताओ guys. Ritu and Janvi and Rajiv and Saurabh and Sandesh and all the others who are sitting there silently. Where is the error in this? तो ये V2 V3 है तो you have to put here had plus V3, had plus V3. The other side can have would have. You get it? Okay? So this is done. Next one. I'll make your work easy by giving you 2 commas here. आंसर बताइए. B. Okay. A range of policy proposals. This is extra info. What rule did I give you? If you remove the extra info, the rest of the sentence should be grammatically correct. The subject is not proposals. The subject is range. Range is singular, right? A range is, so this or this, correct? You got it? So far so good? है ना Ritu? A range of, the subject is always the one before of. So a range is currently under review, but neither the ministry nor the advisory panel. In case of neither and nor, which subject do you take? The first one or the second one? I need an answer first. Whether in this question there are so many grammar rules that are at play. Neither nor. Which subject do we consider for the verb here? If you have done my grammar 150, that compilation of 150 frequently occurring concepts, you will be able to understand these points. Second, yes Sandesh, neither nor, you take the second subject. You agree with me, right Omkar? We follow this, but now this is panel. So for words such as panel, jury, committee, team. What else? अभी ये चार ही याद आ रहे हैं. For such words, if they are united, we take singular. If they are divided in their opinion, we take plural. Do you remember this? Panel we can take as singular, but no. There is another exception to that rule. Panel, jury, committee, team. A panel of members is there, correct? But if the sentence shows that they are not united, यहाँ बोल रहा है, they haven't yet reached a definitive conclusion, means they are divided on their opinion, this becomes plural. So the answer should be this, is and have. Are the points clear? A range of, the subject is range, is. Correct? Beach ka extra information. Is currently under review, but neither the ministry nor the advisory panel, nor ki wajah se second one we take, right? But panel, if they are divided, they haven't yet reached a consensus, they become plural. If they are united in giving their verdict, or they are kind of, they have a consensus, they are taken as singular. So in this case, it has to be this. I have given you the justification. Okay, chaliye, question 11. Sentence improvement. You will see a highlighted part, like in this case from here to here. Just check. Bolo guys. B. Sandesh, मर गया grammar. Subject here is series. This is between two commas extra information. We discussed this in the earlier questions, didn't we? The series of lectures, इससे कोई मतलब नहीं किस चीज पे lecture है, हटा दो. The series of lectures. Lectures cannot be the subject. Of के पहले वाला होता है. Series is taken as singular. Correct? So series. हर हाल में has. This is out. This is out. Correct? Interest होता है या interests होता है? I have some interest in English, or I have some interests in English. You decide. Irfan. Yes. It has to be A. Good. Interest कुछ नहीं होता है, unless it's a verb. This interests me, or your proposal interests me. This is correct, this is correct, because it's a verb here. If you take it as noun, considerable interest, ruchi, my interest is going down. मेरा कोई चीज में दिलचस्पी या इंटरेस्ट, so it can never be interests, it has to be interest. आप उस केस में बोल सकते हैं multiple interests, he has multiple interests, but generally it's not considered good. He has multiple, like what, hobbies, okay? His interests are, no, his interest is mainly in this. Okay, chalo next. Huh, so ye, A is your answer. Good. Question 12. Now claim. इसके पहले कुछ काम हुआ. Remember we discussed a point, a concept in which I said कुछ आगे पीछे काम हुआ. तो उनको पहले पता था. Now they are claiming. So they now claim that they, पहले से उनको पता था. कैसे होगा? Yes, Omkar, Janvi. Yes, this should be had known. Correct? Something happened before the other thing. They had known. They had known what? Past tense में they had known the market will collapse. No, the market would collapse. This is your answer. I'll help you understand in another way, Sandesh and Omkar. Just watch me here. Investors claim, comma. इसको ये indirect speech है. Claim यानी say, correct? So investors claim what? We knew the market will collapse. Correct? Following me? Claim means say. Many investors now say, right? इसको inverted खोल दो. Investors claim that we becomes they. है ना? New यहाँ दिया हुआ है. We knew, right? New बन जाएगा they had known. The market will बन जाएगा would. Is it clear now? So in this one, it has to be C. Okay? D क्यों दिया है इसका? No improvement needed. Knew the market. No. Again, this is a typo. I'm sorry about the typos. I think there was a mistake. इधर का उधर हो गया है answer, but definitely this is the one. All right. No improvement needed में गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. Many investors now claim that they knew the market would have collapsed long before the early warning signs. No. They knew that the market would collapse before the early warning signs. ठीक है? चलिए. Question 13. between या among या about या to. Now, hang in there, everybody. Irfan, good. The new policy framework is designed to provide greater clarity. Responsibilities काट दीजिए, है ना? Regulators and financial institutions रखिए. Correct? Provide greater clarity. It is designed provide greater clarity or promote greater clarity, right? Among the regulators and financial institutions, right? Tab hota. Here it says the new policy framework is designed to provide greater clarity. ये responsibilities भी है. So among the responsibilities, about the responsibilities, to the responsibilities, definitely to is out. Greater clarity between the responsibilities, yeah, about, go on, yeah, among. Think about it. It will provide greater clarity. Among and between नहीं हो सकता है, you know very well. गिरीश, among or between तब होगा when it is only regulators and financial institutions. It is designed to provide greater clarity among regulators and financial institutions या जो भी, या between regulators and financial institutions, तब वो decide करेंगे. यहाँ पे responsibilities. So this new policy framework will give more clarity regarding कौन क्या करेगा. You get the point. So provide greater clarity about the responsibilities of regulators and financial institutions, right? So it should be B. बाकी सब check कर लो about the responsibilities of regulators and this. Correct? Again, there is a locha. It has to be B. I hope this is clear. Most of you got it. Janvi, you marked D. नहीं. Between और among का फंडा मैंने आपको बता दिया. लोग होंगे तब तो between और among होगा ना. You are talking about responsibilities. How can it provide clarity between the responsibilities? It will provide clarity about किसका responsibilities है. ठीक है? चलो. Question 14. पैरेललिज्म पे ध्यान दीजिएगा. रेड्यूस 1, इंप्रूव 2, यहां 3. ये तो मिल जाएगा सबको. Say guys, say. Good. Even I'll go with this. Reduce, improve, adopt. Transparent decision making processes. Yes, good. Has to be C. चलो इसका करेक्ट है यहां दिया हुआ. Yeah. Question 15. This is what I would call misplaced modifier. The consulting firm presented a strategy to the board after months of analysis. They presented a strategy to the board. What? Come on, guys. Okay, let's look at it this way. Now, the consulting firm presented a strategy to the board, right? ये strategy है, correct? That would significantly reduce operational inefficiencies after months of analysis. Definitely not this, because that would significantly reduce this after months of analysis. So after months of analysis is placed in the wrong spot. Correct? Strategy present किया गया after months of analysis. Right or wrong? है ना? You get it? So the consulting firm presented a strategy to the board. Okay? To the board after months of analysis. Correct? We want this. है ना? So it's either this or this. You agree with me? Right? Now look again and see which one is better. The consulting firm presented a strategy to the board. Okay? After months of analysis, strategy to the board after months of analysis. ठीक है? That would significantly reduce this. Or the consulting firm presented a strategy to the board that, okay, after months of analysis, yahan that would significantly reduce. A is much better. Why? Because this, this is coming in the form of extra information. ये जो आपका adverbial phrase है, that is inserted as extra information, that is much better. So the consulting firm presented a strategy to the board that would significantly reduce. अच्छा, क्या था ये? After months of analysis. Okay? This one should be A. Okay, good. चलिए. Next one, question number 16. ये भी इजी है, एलिमिनेशन से मिल जाएगा. बोलो बच्चों. But nevertheless he or he nevertheless. पहले तो ये डिसाइड कर लो. Nevertheless continuing doesn't make sense, है ना इरफान? But nevertheless continuing out. Nevertheless he is wrong. But he continued or he nevertheless continued. Correct? He nevertheless होना चाहिए ना, nevertheless he क्या है? but he continued. और but और nevertheless क्यों चाहिए आपको? पहली चीज तो ये बताओ मुझे. but हटा दो. The economist acknowledged the limitations of the data set, semicolon. Nevertheless, he nevertheless, you can continue. So C is the best one. Yet he nevertheless, yet be, nevertheless be. Why do you need so many words? Yet he continued to draw. Draw what? Sweeping conclusions from it. You guys got it. Well done. 17. Every. Asked to submit this or this. Ye out, ye out. I'm sure you have reached this. Girish, A कैसे हो सकता है? Earlier we did a question. Every means singular. Every participant submitted his report. Okay? His or her reflections on how the session influenced or had influenced. Okay? His or her management style. Obviously, B. His or her. Yes. No, it cannot be C, Janvi. You don't need had. How the session had influenced. जबरदस्ती का word है ये. Okay? Spoken में every participant submitted their report. चलता है. Their management style. चलता है. But in such questions you have to go with his or her. ठीक है? चलिए. Done ये वाला? 18. Subject is productivity. Okay? Higher than the productivity of employees confined, right? ऐसे ही लिखेंगे ना, repeat पूरा करके. The productivity of employees working in flexible environments is often higher than the productivity of employees something something. Right? So, productivity is singular. So, than that of, the productivity के बदले than that of, correct? Employees के बदले those, productivity के बदले that. You get it? Correct. Than that of employees who are confined or of those who are confined. So this is good. हो गया? Clear? A ही होना चाहिए इसका. Right. 19. Had V3. Easy one if you were paying attention to one earlier question. Ritu, Sandesh. बोलो बच्चों. Oh yes, you guys got it. Well done. सब ध्यान दे रहे थे यानी पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में है ना. Would have V3. Could have done, would have done, should have done, ऐसा. Correct? Would have something. Good, good. And the last question. If you know this grammar concept, you'll get it in a jiffy. Come on, Janvi. Peeps. As much as तो दोनों साइड लगना ही है ना. This as much as, if not more than large corporations. Got it? It just cannot be as much. Yeah. Would benefit small enterprises as much as, if not more than large corporations. यहाँ पे कॉमा गलत जगह पे दिया है. हाँ नहीं यहाँ सही है. As much as large corporations. If not more than is extra information. Got it? So this is correct. Option B. Done. And we are done with all the 20 questions. Great show. Good job, guys. Good job. Well done. Chalo, let's call it a night. You can revise the 20 questions if you want. There were some typos for answers. Please do not pay attention to those. Okay. That was a big mistake. But I have explained all the correct answers. And you need to note those down. Alright guys. Chalo. Bye.